Hey, what's up guys? I got a Honda CR-V 2012. I'm doing the valve cover gasket on it. Um, so CR-V, this is the 2012 with the 2.4 liter, but you could use this for any 2.4 liter engine in a Honda. Basically what's going on is my exhaust back here, it's the valve cover is leaking oil on it, so when I'm driving or when it sits for a while, the oil gets on the exhaust and it burns. So here's my parts I'm going to be using in this video. Is a gasket with some spark plug tube seals. Here's the part number. I will link parts in the description in the comments, so look for those for parts or tools used in this vehicle. This looks like it was made just for this engine, and then I got some of this. This will also be linked. This is for a couple spots on the engine that a person is supposed to use it while doing the valve cover gasket. So with that aside, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take this black cover off right here. It's 10 millimeters. Right there. There's 4 10mm bolts. You gotta get those out. They're the ones that are black. So go ahead and get these off. And look like that. We'll set these aside. Don't lose them. These specific bolts are for this cover only. Alright, we'll get that out of the way. Get my other one here. This guy, I had to use my ratchet because my impact wouldn't fit in there. Go ahead and get this one out. Alright. This just will come off here like that. No big deal. Set that aside somewhere safe where it won't get stepped on and cracked. Alright, so now this hose got to come off here. I'm going to squeeze the clamp with these pliers. Pull the clamp off the tube, and then I can just kind of twist this back and forth and then pull this upwards. It could be a little stubborn, so just pull that out, and then I'm going to try to set that to the side so it'll be out of the way. Same thing for this guy right here. We're going to squeeze the clamp, push the clamp all the way back as far as we can, and then with the clamp off, the tension will be removed from the end of the hose, and we'll be able to pull the hose off of this tube. I had to use a flathead to kind of help push it off of there. Alright, so got that off. Careful not to hurt yourself or rip the hose or cut the hose. I was thinking about taking this whole air intake out, but I don't think it's necessary. There's a 10mm here on this bracket. I just use the open end wrench, but if you have tools like a small ratchet or swivel sockets to get to these things, then use what you got. I just used open end wrench on this. Once you get them kind of loose, you can just use your fingers to unscrew them. So I got that out, and then there's one more over here on this side right here. So same thing, kind of just put my wrench on it any way I could, and then was able to loosen it, and then after it's loose, could use my fingers just to unthread it the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and get that out. Cool. Now once that's off this black bracket, we'll be able to kind of move away just enough to where you could remove and install the valve cover. So once we got that off, let's go ahead and attack these coils. What I like to do is I'll just mark them, because you want the coil to come off, but you want it to go back onto the same spark plug and cylinder that it was on. So I just mark them like that, and I just put an arrow. You don't have to do this, but I do this to make sure, because sometimes I'll be working on a car and then I gotta walk away for like a couple hours. I don't want to forget which ones go where. These, you just squeeze the top or that button part until you hear it kind of click or pop, and then you pull it backwards and remove it. These are notorious for breaking, especially at this age of the car. So just be careful. Get them all off, and then we'll lift this up here, and this will just kind of come, and you could kind of push it out of the way when the time comes. You can get like a bungee cord and just kind of bungee it, wrap it around, and then put the hooks on somewhere to keep it out the way. Then we're gonna go ahead and get these 10mm bolts out. Sorry about that noise in the background. All right, we'll get these 10mm bolts out of the coil packs. Alright, grab these. Cool, got these out. And then these, you just kind of wiggle and pull them up. They're actually pretty long. Alright, pull these out and then just set them somewhere out of the way. Like that. Alright, So look down here, see if there's any oil in these tubes. If you have oil in there, they could be getting down to the electrode on your spark plug and causing misfires. So these look pretty dry actually. I'm still going to change out these seals when I have this off, but if you have oil in there, then it's good that you're changing the spark plug seals. Go and pull the dipstick out, put that somewhere safe. Now I'm going to get these 10mm nuts off these little caps right here. There's one right here and one right here as well. And yeah, I don't see one over here. So I'm just going to get these off. Now this is the nut, so don't drop the nut because you're going to need it to reinstall. The new gasket set I got comes with new grommets with silver caps, so that's cool. But it does not come with new nuts. So if you drop these and lose it, you're out of luck. You got to get yourself a new nut. All right. Get these ones back here. Some stuff, guys, I'm going to be doing off camera because I'm not going to, it's already boring enough watching me do all this stuff. So I'm going to kind of like quick edit some of this stuff. I got this off. Got this off. I like to try to include every step because some people really study the videos, like every single step before they do their repair. But I don't want to bore you guys either. So once you get all these off, make sure you get that one. And then you could take like a small flathead and just kind of pop this up right here. Be careful not to like gouge your valve cover. This will just pop up like this, and then it has a little rubber grommet on the bottom like that, and then the little cap on top, little metal cap. Set these all to the side. Some new gasket kits don't come with these, or sometimes you just get the valve cover gasket and not anything else. So save these in case you need them again. Don't lose them. And yeah, just try not to don't like tear them or rip them when you're taking them off, because sometimes you got to reuse either all of them or maybe one of them. You know, maybe one didn't come in your pack with your new parts, so you reuse old one. But try to replace these if you can. Get them all off. Okay. All right, cool. Now once that's off, I'm going to go to just try to remove this. Now, you could just try to grab it and try to wiggle it and pull it up. It was kind of tough. If you have something like a plastic pry bar, I would recommend it. I'm going to show you with a regular flathead, though. But use like a plastic pry bar. I'll link one in the description. Or just something. Be careful right here. What I'm going to do is just gently put this underneath the valve cover here and just kind of pop it up. I just need it to pop up just a little bit so I can get my fingers underneath. Okay, boom, like that. Sometimes the gasket seal can be really tight. So once that's just up a little bit, I could grab this and get my fingers underneath it and then work it up. Just kind of wiggle and pull up, wiggle and pull up. You know, don't rage rip this off the car because you can break something. Just be patient on this part. Gently lift it up. The gasket might want to like stick halfway to the car, halfway to the valve cover. So, you know, just be prepared. Here's what it looks like coming off. And I was pushing the wire harnesses out the way and the hoses out of the way as I was pulling it up. So just expect to do that a little bit. All right, so I got that off. I'm looking here now. Now here's the gasket right here. Now I'm going to mention something a few times. I'll get to that in a sec. But you can look at your valves right now. These look good. Nothing looks burnt or like destroyed. It looks just like a normal engine. But if you look right over here, there's a spot. Oh, look, like that gasket has like a little guide spot. I'll pull this up here. We can remove this now. You don't got to leave it on. I just kind of like to get a good look at it, so when I put my new one on, I know what I'm looking for. Also, look at these spots right here that have that extra silicone gasket stuff on there, because it'll tell you where you need to put it. So, like, I'm going to take this rubber gasket off, but there's 4 spots on here that need to be having the Honda silicone gasket, the wet stuff applied, and I'll show you why in a sec. Let's go ahead and get this out of here, get this off. I wish I would have bungee corded those like coil plug wires, because those are really bugging me. So we'll set this to the side, and then here's those spark plug tubes right here. I'm gonna show you how to get them out. They're not the funnest to get out, but sometimes they come out pretty easy. Now, if you notice right here on the valve cover, it has like certain spots for the gasket. When you put it on, it'll like guide where everything goes. So to get these off, you want to get yourself a flat head or something of the like, and you want to go underneath here and get underneath the gasket and then kind of pry up to pop them out. Be very careful not to gouge your valve cover. If you gouge that, you're gonna probably have oil leaking, or you're gonna need to do something to make it not leak. But what you do is you want to support this, get your flathead or whatever you got underneath here, and then just kind of pry, you know, maybe move around in a different spots on each tube cylinder. Just be patient, be really patient on this part, and get those guys out. They're not really easy for anybody, so if you're struggling, don't beat yourself up. They're annoying to get out all the time on every car. But these ones actually came out okay, so I hope yours came out. You know, you just got to get it right underneath there, but not to where you're digging into the valve cover. You want to keep that circle part unscratched and ungouged. So I got these out. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to clean them out with like a paper towel or like a shop cloth. I'm going to wipe those out and make sure there's no old gasket or debris in there. I'm actually going to clean this whole thing up. I'm going to go to my parts cleaner here. If you're doing this in your driveway, you may not have a parts cleaner, but you know, I'm just going to clean this up. So then when it's on there, it's not, you know, it has less oil on it and stuff. All right, so I'm going to go do this. Just clean this guy off. All right, sorry to bore you with this part. Okay, so now I'm gonna let this dry off a bit and get it cleaned up on the inside as well. And what you want to do for sure though is get this track on the valve cover cleaned out, so when you put your new gasket in, there's no like other spots that are off. Now if you look right here, this is the spot you're going to need to put silicone gasket on. It's where these two pieces of metal meet. This head is not one piece. It's like this piece and this piece. So if you need to just put a little silicone gasket on here when you go to put the valve cover gasket on. I'll show you in the video, but there's 4 spots. So when you go to clean the mating surface on here, just take note exactly where you see the old silicone gasket, because that's where you need to put yours. It's basically on this side, it's right here. It's like right where that corner is. And then on the back side, it's the exact same spot. It's just where that gasket comes around. All right, so here's that stuff right here. Again, I'll link this in the description. So I'm gonna clean the mating surface. You gotta do the same for you. Try to get it as clean as possible. Make sure there's no old silicone gasket on there. You can't have that old silicone gasket on there. It won't seal anymore. So I got this kind of cleaned up. Now I'm going to break out this kit. Okay, so let's start putting stuff in. Now this kit came with 2 different tube seals. You got to match up the seal that you got in your car. Mine was this one, so I'm going to be putting this in. Now I'll take a tiny bit of oil and just go around the edges of this just to make it kind of more, you know, lubricated to go in easier. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of put this on and push it in with my fingers as equal as I can, and then I'm going to take the old seal and put it on top of this and then push it in. Or if you have some kind of tool, you could do it that's like that seal, but what worked for me great. So you could take something like this and try to push it in, but when you're pushing one side, the other side's going to pop out like that. So take the old seal and put it on top of that, and then just push that down, and it'll apply equal pressure to the whole thing, and it should go down into place. Be careful with these seals. They seem like they're really durable, but they're really not. But if you just have like direct force or pressure, it'll go out fine. And get some oil, like I said, and just put it on the outside of this. And then when you're putting it in, it should go in a little easier. Don't put a lot, just like barely in. You don't want oil sitting in between the you know, the area in here. So I put that on, get my old seal, one that's not damaged, you know, one that's just like normal looking. I'm going to push this in as much as I can equally with my fingers, and then I'm going to get the old seal and put it on like this, and then just kind of push down like that, and then it should just go into place equal. Just double check it, you know, because sometimes it won't work, so double check it and make sure it goes in right. Yeah, just like that. Okay, and that's pretty uniform all the way around. It's sunk into place. and then make sure this side is sticking up like that. Okay, now I got my blue new gasket. Now this blue gasket's gonna have like little squares on certain parts of it to kind of guide you. I'll show you what I mean. Like right here, see that little square like on the end of it. Now the actual valve cover has spots. You know, you put this in and it'll help you guide it like that. It's kind of, they try to make it dummy proof. You know, Honda's always been cool like doing that, trying to make stuff dummy proof. Like I've worked on a lot of cars, and like Fords won't have stuff like that. They'll just have like, oh, you figure out where the gasket goes. So see how that just drops right into place right there. That's one of the reasons why Hondas are easy to work on, or easier to work on, I should say. So I'll put this all in all the way around. Just be gentle. Don't rush this part. Don't stretch it out. You know, just, it should go in like pretty simple, and everything should line up. If you think you got like a bad gasket or something, don't use it. Get this old piece off of here. Yeah, I was lucky because this gasket like went in perfect. I'm hoping they have this one on Amazon, because I'm gonna link this kit, because this kit's been perfect so far. Okay, we'll get this in like that. All right, cool. We got that like that. All right. So that's it, guys. So now it's ready to go on. Obviously, we got to put our silicone on. Make sure your mating surface is nice and clean like this. Don't use like a wire brush, because you don't want to scratch or gouge this. You want to use like just like a soft bristle brush to clean it. I'll link it in the description. Let's put our silicone on right there, right here, back here, and then on this side, on the back side, on the same spot. So go ahead and get this guy opened up right here. And like if you don't have access to a Honda one, then you could get an aftermarket one, but I recommend using a Honda one if you can help it. So I'm going to apply some of this right here, right where that like line is, where the two pieces of the head meet. You want to put about I'd say like a penny size amount there. You don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it, you're going to cause a leak, because it's going to cause the gasket to not sit right. But I'll say about like that much. And then we'll come over here and hit this spot. And basically why we're doing this is because like that gasket, even though it's a good gasket, when it comes to like as sharp as like a difference in like where the gasket lands, like this is just not enough. It won't seal it completely. So this stuff will fill in any cracks or spots that aren't filled in. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, this goes here. You guys get it. It's just to fill in this crack of the different mating surfaces of the different parts of the engine head. Okay, cool. So we got that in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in. Again, be gentle. You don't want to, just be careful not to like nudge your gasket and have it like fall out, and then you put it down, put the valve cover head down, and then it's like the gasket ain't sitting where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So just keep everything out of the way. Put it in pretty exact, and then it actually went in pretty easy, suspiciously easy, I should say. But everything looked right. You can look around the whole valve cover top and just make sure. I got a mirror here, and before I even go any further, I'm going to take this mirror and I'm going to walk around this whole valve cover and just make sure that gasket didn't roll anywhere, or it didn't like fall out. It's all where it should be. You know, it should look like just like that. So I got that on there. Okay, cool. Now I can put the new grommets on that I got. So here they are. I'm going to put these on. Get these guys there. And make sure that the part gets into the hole there. There's the center circular part of these. You kind of might have to like wiggle them a little bit to get them into, you know, the hole in the valve cover. So we want to make sure those get in there. All right. Cool. They'll go in more like when you tighten it down. I'm also gonna have torque specs and the torque sequence for this, in case you're wondering, for the torque guys out there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put these nuts back on. Yeah, I always get beat up in the comments because I don't have torque specs, because I usually just torque it off screen. People hit me up like, "What the heck, man? Where's the torque specs? You didn't torque it." So in this video, I for sure will have it because it is important. I'll link a torque wrench in the description too if you don't have one. You could do it without it, but it's like you don't know if you're tightening it too much or it's not tight enough. Let me adjust my camera here. Okay, so I just kind of tighten these down a little bit just to get it going. Okay, so I'm just getting this tightened down. Now there is an actual sequence to do this when you torque it down. I'm just gonna show you a quick picture. You're gonna have to go back and pause it when you're doing it. But all right, so I got those just kind of tightened down a little bit, not really much. You can put these coils in if you want right now. Just drop these into place. Remember to put them back on the same cylinder. Plug them in. Hopefully, if the connector didn't break on you when you push it in, it'll kind of clip and make like a pop noise. It'll go click, and then you know it's good. Got that. Now here's the picture. Here's the torque. So I got my torque wrench here set to 9 foot-pounds. Not much at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on here and tighten these down. This one first. And I tightened these previously, so they're all kind of tight already. So like I'm not like torquing this one all the way down with the other ones completely loose. So I'm taking these down to 9 foot-pounds, and I'm going in this exact order. This is what the picture said, so you can look at the picture or pause it and then just do it. This thing kind of clicks when it's at 9, and then I believe this one was the last one right here, and then that should be torqued and good. I'm gonna get my coil bolts tightened down. That's the 10mm bolts. Just get those tightened down so those will hold the coils in place. Okay, got those tightened down, and then we're gonna hook the hoses back up. Oh, this bracket right here, the 10mm bolts. I just kind of hand thread these back in with my fingers, and then I'll tighten them down. I'll cinch them down with the wrench I got. There and there. Just tighten those down. I'm doing it off camera. I'm not going to bore you guys. You guys know what to do. And then once this is tight and that's tight, I'm going to put these hoses back on. This one just goes right here onto there. And then I'll use my pliers to loosen that clamp and lower it down. Try to put it exactly how it was if you can. And then this guy goes right here. Back onto here. And then same thing when you put that clamp back over the spot. If you can, if you're good, you could put it right back where it was. All right, just get the clamp, squeeze it, and then you'll be able to move it forward. Put it back how it was if you can. Okay, so I got that on. And then it said to wait like 3 hours before you run your engine. All right, put this guy on. Yeah, that's what the computer program said that Honda recommends. Put that on, get these on. So I mean, you guys could do whatever you like. It's your engine. But you know, I'll wait a little bit, let that silicone gasket stuff dry, and then when you run it, just check, drive it around, run it in your driveway for a bit, and then check the gasket, make sure it's not leaking, and then go for a drive, pull it back in, pop the hood, check it, look all around it, make sure it's not leaking, and then you should be fine. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Thanks for watching, and make sure you get these tightened down. And if you want to stay and watch a couple promos I got, a couple products I'm affiliated with, then you could do that. Alright, cool. Yep, there it is. Wait at least 30 minutes before filling the engine, 3 hours before running the engine. But do whatever you guys like, though. That's up to you. Alright, cool. Any additional information in the comments is appreciated. Thanks for watching, guys. And now for some promos. About this new soap I've been using by a new company called Quantum Soap. It's a men's soap company. They make multiple different bars of soap with their own ingredients and fragrance. They even have a dark matter bar, which is more grittier. If you're a mechanic, you have a lot of dirt and oil in your skin a lot. You can reach them at quantumsoapco.com. Free shipping on orders over $50. These soaps are made in the US with all natural ingredients by hand. No synthetic this, synthetic that. They've been great. They've hooked us up with a GearmoAuto promo code. So if you head over to the website, type in GearmoAuto in the checkout, you'll get 10% off. Again, these guys are on Facebook, Instagram. Check them out. Check the links below. Thanks for watching.
You're pretty good.